Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is, whatever time it is, wherever you're at. For me, it's morning. Alright guys, so I'm here to do a video, a reading on Echo Michelle Lloyd. Excuse me. Echo Michelle Lloyd was 47 years old, the same age as me. Yes, I'm still 47 for one more month. My birthday, let's see, my birthday, what is today? Anyways, like the 13th or 14th, maybe the 15th. So yeah, my birthday is a little less than a month away. All right. Anyways, that doesn't matter. We're here to talk about Echo. So Echo Michelle Lloyd was 47 years young when she was reported missing on May 10th of 2020. This was Mother's Day. Little side note, Echo was reported missing on the same day as Suzanne Morphew was reported missing. And just a little info, as I've been working with this case for about a week now, doing channeling sessions, doing using my pendulum, of course my cards, and just straight on channeling through my intuition. I've actually had Suzanne Morphew coming through. I've had a mixture of their energies, which confused me a lot at first. And I was getting bits and pieces of both of their stories. So that is why it took me a whole week to make sure that what I'm getting is actually belongs to Michelle and is not attached to Suzanne. So I hope, I'm praying I did the best I can with that. Like I said, I did get a lot of mixed messages, and I just took the time to try to weed them out and figure out what belonged to who. Now, back in the day in 2020, when Suzanne Morphew came up missing, I was very new to YouTube, fairly new to YouTube. I was not working on any of the crime cases yet, publicly. I was only doing it behind the scenes. So and Suzanne Morphew's case just blew up. So that's where my attention went to. I didn't even know about Echo. I remember hearing about her, but psychically and intuitively and personally, I never connected to her case until now. Why now? I have no idea. But Echo, who I keep wanting to call her Michelle. So I know that's her middle name, but for some reason I keep wanting to call her Michelle. I keep mistaking and saying, instead of saying Echo, I say Michelle. I don't know if that has any significance, but it keeps happening. So if you hear me say Michelle, I'm sorry. I mean Echo. Sometimes it comes out that way. I don't know why. If anybody else out there knows why that is, that I keep using the name Michelle, which is her middle name, it keeps popping out of my mouth rather than Echo sometimes. So, all right. Anyway, so it was May 10th, 2020, Mother's Day. And Echo Michelle Lloyd's daughter, Kelsey, had went to her house to visit her for Mother's Day. She knocked on the door and there was no answer. Previously, she'd been texting with her mother. There was no issues for why her mother wouldn't answer the door for her. And as far as she knew, her mother shouldn't have been anywhere but at home. Okay, so she then left and came back 5 days. So Kelsey lives about 2 hours away from her mother. So she drove all those 2 hours to her house. She wasn't there. She went home. She came back 5 days later because she couldn't get in touch with her over that period of time. She came back 5 days later and still no sign of her mother. So she reported her missing. When she reported her missing, she was saying that she had come to check on her on the 10th. So in the records, in the public forums, it says that she became missing on May 10th. But honestly, personally, I believe that she was missing before May 10th. I see it happening before, a few days before Kelsey had actually made it there to visit her mother. Okay, and please excuse my horrible, my sinuses are terrible because we've got the season's changing again. All right, so Echo Michelle Lloyd was 5'4", 100 to 110 pounds. So she was a tiny little thing. Brown hair, brown eyes. She had a tattoo on her left forearm, so it would be like right here where I have my words. She had a tattoo right here as well, only her tattoo said "Let It Be," and it had little birds flying off from it, which reminds me of Gabby and gives me goosebumps, because Gabby had a tattoo that said "Let It Be" as well. She also had a tattoo on her right wrist that said the names of her 3 children, which were Kelsey, Caitlin, and Kylie. She had 3 daughters, and they all had K names. Okay. So her vehicle and her purse were found at home. The vehicle was locked, but the back hatch part had been broken. When Kelsey went inside of the car to look for clues as to where her mother would be, she got a strong smell of cow manure coming from the back part of Echo's car. So, which was odd. Okay, and there were flies all over on the inside of her car, which was another driving reason why she wanted to get into that car, because she could see flies all over inside there, which the flies could have very well been there because of the cow manure, which I didn't get that there was literal cow manure in the vehicle, but that it smelled like cow manure. Okay, but Kelsey got there, she saw all the flies around the vehicle, couldn't find her mom, freaked out, broke into the vehicle. Went into the vehicle. Okay. So, Echo's clothes, makeup, ID, money, everything that she needs in life was left in her house. And the only things missing, excuse me, I'm so sorry. The only things missing were Echo's keys and her medication. Everything else was there. And on her bedside table, next to her bed, right next to her bed, which is a spot where underneath the table she kept her purse, and her purse was sitting there. But on top of the table, there was a pack of cigarettes that were unknown to her. Now, I don't know if what you guys feel about it, but I was married to he's now a non-smoker for over a month, but I was married to a smoker who was a smoker for 40 some odd years. But in the 9 years that we've been together, up until the day he quit smoking, hallelujah, thank you, Lord, for helping that happen. On the day up until he quit smoking, he smoked the same kind of cigarettes every single day. He never varied from them. If he had to drive 10 miles out of his way to go get his brand, that's what he would do. So it's odd and bizarre to me that there would be a pack of unknown, an off-brand pack of cigarettes sitting on her bedside table, cigarettes that are not known to her. I mean, it's not unheard of to some people who are, budgeting or low on funds, maybe right before payday, when they got to scrape together the change and they can go out and just buy the whatever pack of cigarettes they can afford. So that's not unheard of either. But it is something that I feel should be taken into consideration. Where did this pack of cigarettes come from? Okay. So, the last place that Echo was verifiably saw that they can verify was in 3 different places that she went to on the day she was reported missing. She went to the Walmart. It was reported that she went there to pick up a prescription, which is missing. But she was on camera doing that. And she went to 2 different Dollar General stores, okay? She was on camera in both of those places. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Okay. So the police are not working with Kelsey and with Echo's family very well at all. They have put a gag order on her from day one. They've told her, do not tell people about this, do not go to the media, do not, contact anyone. They told her, you'll mess up the investigation if you do this. Keep it quiet, don't say a word. They told her she couldn't even go out looking for her mother. She is young. Obviously, this is the first time she's ever really experienced this kind of a thing. And she listened to what they said. They also told her family the same thing, and her family encouraged her to not go and jump on Facebook and put out missing posters and all of the such. But they told her to give it some time. They told her that he may have to actually commit the crime again in order to get caught. But they needed her to remain in the background quietly while they worked their magic. Well, let me tell you, there was no magic worked. There's been very little movement on this case, and it's been, 2 years, 3 months, and 9 days. So Kelsey finally said, you know what? I'm going to look for my mom. So she started making posts on Facebook. There is a Facebook group called Find Echo Lloyd. Go join that. I did. She started telling the story of her mother. She started getting the word out there. She received some backlash from both family members and from the authorities for doing this. But she's like, dude, you guys aren't doing anything. I have to. Someone has to. Which is exactly how I feel right now. They're not doing anything. For me, the suspect is very obvious, but they're not doing anything. So, and if they are, it is so very insignificant that it is not evident in any way, shape, or form. So I'll just say that. Okay, I'm going to stop right now and give my disclaimer. So, other than the factual information that I have gleaned off of the internet, other videos, and the news articles, other than that, everything I am going to say here is for entertainment, educational, and research purposes only. Everything I say comes from either the factual information I gleaned off of public forum, in which I have the right to share any kind of public, it's considered public domain, so I have the right to share, speak of this information as long as it's public domain, or off of my own intuition, what I intuitively am getting, and off of how I intuitively interpret the tarot cards, or off of what I get from my pendulum. Okay, everything is for entertainment, research, educational purposes only. Everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. And this video is, anything I say is my opinion, my intuition, and that having been said. Okay, so 2 weeks after Echo went missing, her neighbor, who was also her friend, whose name is Josh Smith, remember that name? Josh Smith lived next to her. Okay, first I'm going to go back. Okay, Josh Smith was her neighbor. He was she just wanted a friendship with this man, but I feel like maybe they may have crossed the line a couple of times with that friendship, but really she didn't want a relationship. She just wanted a friendship out of him. But this man was obsessed with her. This man had no boundaries. He's come off in the beginning as a friend, but he was always over at her house. He was always asking for rides. He was always asking to bum cigarettes. He was always asking for money for cigarettes. He was always asking to use her phone. He would come, he would stay, and he would never leave. He was trying to be her boyfriend, although she had made it clear she didn't want a boyfriend. I feel like, now I don't know this for fact, this is just how I feel. I feel like Echo had recently left a bad relationship and was trying to make it on her own. She was trying to prove to herself that she could have a happy life on her own as a single woman And she had left a relationship where I believe there were children involved, because I see that she had to leave some children behind. But she was going to set up her life and then get her children after she had a place for them. I feel like she had to start somewhere to start over her life. And this is what phase that she was in. She had, I feel like she had a lot of guilt over the fact that she had to leave. I believe it was 2 of her daughters with her ex to go and reestablish, start over, and build a life. And then she was going to bring her daughters, but she felt guilty about that portion of time where she had to be separated from them. I get that has come in through a lot. I get goosebumps right now just saying it. So she moved, I want to say she moved some distance away from them, because it was a difficulty for some visitations to take place or to stay in touch. But wherever it is that she moved to from them, she didn't know anybody. She didn't have any friends there. She didn't really know anybody, but I think maybe it was for a job. But she started trying to make friends, started trying to get to know some of the people in her community. The first person she made friends with was a neighbor. His name was Josh Smith. Okay, Josh Smith, I don't know much about him, to be honest. I have not done any research on him other than what I've psychically gotten from him or information I've pulled out of my cards. I don't know a whole lot on Josh Smith. I do know a few things. I know that he was a neighbor. I know that he lived with his grandfather. He lived near her. I know that he noticed her day one, and he was all about, I feel like the moment he laid eyes on her, he thought in his head, I want her. I'm going to have her. I will be in a relationship with her. She will be my girlfriend. Those thoughts went through his mind. When he tried to address that at some point with her, he was shot right down and said, hey, I'd love to be your friend. I'd love to, you're welcome to come hang out, have coffee, have a cigarette, whatever. But I'm not interested in a relationship. I just got out of one, and I'm not interested in getting in a new one. And for him, he was like, oh, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah, I'm cool with friends. I'm cool with friends, to her. But in his mind, he's thinking, oh, give me time. Give me time. Okay. So I'll say that much that I do know about him. In his energy, I've picked up that he is someone with possible substance abuse issues. He is someone who has past domestic violence issues. I want to say this man has a hot temper when he is drinking. He can appear to be like a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. When he's sober, he's just the greatest, funnest guy, normal as can be. But when he drinks, he turns into this monstery, mean, evil person, and he just becomes unreasonable. I see that he's somebody who will kind of start a fight, rile things up, and then leave, because he doesn't know how to deal with what he has created. Okay, so I've got that in his energy, that he's kind of like that type of person that he'll start a fight and say, oh, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to kick your ass. But when it comes down to the actual fight, he's out of there. So that's how I feel about his energy. Like he's like all talk. The other thing I feel in his energy is that he's not somebody who has like the ambition that a normal younger man would have. I do feel like he was younger than her. I don't know if it was a substantial amount of time younger. I want to say maybe, like, this guy was possibly in his 30s and she was in her late 40s. So kind of like that kind of a difference in age. I could be wrong on that, but it may just be his maturity level. But his maturity level was that of a younger person than her, like in a different stage of life in her. In fact, the stage of life he was in was not even appropriate for his age, because he's actually mentally more like in his early 20s. Hot-headed, kind of selfish, and he's also a very domineering person over the people in his life. Like, he wants to run the show. He wants to have the last word. He wants to be the last one to say the real information, or like be the one to say the right stuff, the truth, or oh, you don't know what you're talking about, this is how it is type of information, or you think that's bad, check out what happened to me. Like he always has a bigger story, or a more fantastical version of whatever it is someone else is saying. So he's that type of a person. His energy is. Okay, why am I talking so much about Josh Smith? Because 2 weeks, okay, sorry, I gotta go back. A short period of time, I don't know exactly how long, a short period of time before Echo went missing, Echo had voiced concerns to Kelsey, her daughter, because Echo was very non-confrontational. She was I mean, she didn't even know how to tell somebody, hey, you know what, you've been hanging out at my house all day, I want to take a shower and go to bed, you need to go. She would just kind of let them stay. She was very non-confrontational. And this Josh guy had come and had really kind of had been monopolizing. Every time she would go somewhere, he was right, Johnny on the spot, he wanted to go with her. In fact, he was seen on CCTV camera at the Walmart and both of the Dollar General stores with her the day she was reported missing. Okay. Or the last day they saw her on video surveillance, I'll just say that. He was actually saw with her. He was with her when she was caught on camera. But he was overbearing, and he was trying to kind of take over her house. The same way, and it feels like had done the same thing at his grandfather's house. He kind of like had taken over. Like he kind of had like become, the master of that home, of that domain. Even though it was his grandfather's house, his grandfather had worked his whole life to accomplish this home and everything he had in it. Josh feels like the type of guy that just walked in and said, you know what, old man, you're going to be dead soon anyways, and it's all going to be mine, type of an attitude, okay? So just do what I say now, because, I mean, you're almost already there. That's the attitude, the energy I get out of him. And I feel like that he was trying to kind of do the same thing in Echo's home. He would come in and say, cook me this, clean this, sit here, I don't want you to wear that, or why are you wearing that, who are you trying to impress, acting like a domineering, controlling boyfriend. And he was just the neighbor, just a friend, and she didn't know how to quite deal with it. So she contacted her daughter, and she told her daughter, help me, I don't know what to do. You're the one that can confront people and doesn't get so intimidated by individuals. Help me. So she had made the 2-hour trek up, and she sat Josh down in her mother's house, and she confronted him and had a conversation. Told him, look, you have no boundaries. You are overstepping your boundaries here. That you are not my mother's boyfriend. This is not your home. You are taking advantage of my mother. We are aware this is happening. I'm here to tell you, stop, go away. I feel like at some point Echo had, so there was something said about Echo having 2 phones. And the reason for that was because she had one phone that was like her main phone she used when she was out and about, working, whatever. But that phone didn't get good service where she lived. So I feel like she had to purchase another phone. There was something said about this that was a little confusing, but in my mind, this is how it works out. She had to get another phone, just like a temporary phone or a prepaid phone or something kind of like that. Kind of like a cheaper phone that she would use for while she was at her home, because she could get service with that phone. And I want to say that that's the reason she had 2 phones. Josh had picked up on the fact that she had 2 phones and was constantly borrowing her extra phone, to the point where he had laid claims to it at this point. So one of the things Kelsey had said was, give my mom back her phone. She's not going to provide a cell phone for you. Give her back her phone. And at that moment, she made him give I'm seeing it happen. She made him give the phone back to Echo. So I don't feel like it was a big blow up. I don't feel like it was a big fight. I don't feel like it was a big to-do. I just feel like this confrontation took place. The things that were needed to be heard were said. And I feel like Josh left thinking, holy shit, like I wasn't expecting that. and left and went off to absorb it. And as he absorbed it, he got more and more and more and more angry. As time went on, he got more and more angry. And the thing that he was used to doing constantly was he would get up in the morning, take care of himself, and go straight over to Echo's. Okay? Or if he even left her house the night before, he would get up. I see him sleeping on a couch or in a chair. So he would get up, go home, get himself cleaned up, and come right back. Or get his coffee or get whatever he needed, and he would come right back. I also see him picking up her car keys and leaving, driving her car somewhere without permission. Coming back, I see her being upset about that. These are things that I've gleaned over about a week's worth of different channeling sessions and meditations. These things that I'm telling you guys about. Okay, so when it came down to it, and he had been asked to leave, my feeling is that he was angry about that, and it disrupted his flow of what he did every day, of his what he did. And so every day that would go by that he couldn't get up and go hang out with Echo, or that he would notice her getting in her car and leaving, or even if she had other visitors, which I don't feel like she had a lot of visitors, he would get more and more angry. I feel like he still attempted to come over and talk to her and visit with her and stuff, but she was doing her very best to give him kind of like a cold shoulder, kind of keep him at a distance. And this made him even more angry. Yeah. So that's okay. So 2 weeks after Echo was reported missing, the grandfather, and I don't have his name, of Joshua Smith passed away. Yes, he was old. And yes, old people pass away. But this man did not, by all means, did not pass away in a natural way. Although the documentation reflects that he did. What I saw is a whole nother story. Okay, so the records say that he had a fall. He fell and broke his back. And unfortunately, he laid on the floor for 3 days, suffering to death, before he was discovered. How did he lay on the floor for 3 days in a home he shared with his grandson, who had been asked not to be over at Echo, so obviously he would have been at home? How did he not notice his grandfather laying on the floor for 3 days? On the 4th day, he was discovered, and I'm not sure who discovered him, but he was discovered and taken to the hospital. But by then it was too late. He passed away on the 4th day. In an autopsy, it showed that his back was broken. Not just broken, it was severed. It was broken in half. He didn't just fall and blow a disc. He didn't just fall and break a bone, or it was severed in half. Okay. What I psychically saw in that situation is for entertainment purposes only. Sorry about the green dots on my face. It's my constellation thing, and it's, yeah, just ignore them. Okay. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, Joshua Smith's grandfather saw something happen. He saw something that had to do with Echo. He saw something happen, and he told his grandson, and it ate at him, and it ate at him, and it ate at him, to a point where he finally told his grandson, you know, I've got to say something. Eventually someone is going to come and ask questions, and I'm not going to lie for you. And he was brutally attacked, but in such a way that it was not obvious that he had been attacked. He was shoved to the floor. First of all, I feel like he was punched in the face. Hard. I mean, I see the whole head going back and everything. He was punched in the face. There was an argument. Josh got heated and heated and heated. The grandfather remained completely calm, but he was very matter of fact. I'm not gonna lie for you. You know, I don't even feel like I know you type. And as a matter of fact, in his energy, I feel like there was some fear. He was fearful of his grandson. Um, he was punched in the face, and it knocked him to the ground, to the floor. I see him land on his butt and kind of be sitting there. I see him roll over on all fours, roll over into where he's now, and he's attempting to kind of crawl over to what I believe was a Davenport, or some people call it a couch, whatever. This was a couch, obviously, but it was very old. It was the type of couch where back in the day they called it a Davenport. So I'm seeing this Davenport type couch, and he's walking up to it, or he's crawling up to it. I feel like he was on his way to the couch just to help himself get back up off the ground. When you're old, and I can speak from experience, I've had both of my hips replaced. If for some reason my booty ends up on the ground, I have to crawl over to something and pull myself up. Okay, so I can just imagine what it was like for an 80-something-year-old man. And I don't know why I say 80, I just feel like he was in his 80s. Okay, so he could have been older, but I'm feeling 80s. For an 80-something-year-old man, I can imagine it would be even harder to get up. So he was crawling over to get himself up. And he was somewhat, Josh, entertainment purposes only, allegedly, came up and literally stomped as hard as he could into the center of this man's back. And I see the man fall down, hands go out from underneath of him, and laying flat on the ground with his face. Okay? I see him, at this point, I see him actually, sorry I have to say this, but he literally defecated on himself. He lost his bladder and his urine from the pain. The pain was so extreme that his body lost control of its functions. Now, this is something that actually happens to us when we pass away. Everybody, all the involuntary muscles in our body, which is, holding in our poo, our pee, the involuntary muscles, the muscles that work without us, telling them to, consciously telling them to. The heart, and all of the involuntary muscles, they quit working when we pass away, obviously. So anything being held up inside gets released. This was not that. This was a release as a result of extreme pain that he had went through. Okay? Extreme pain. And he was left to exist in that pain for 3 days before someone noticed him and took him to the hospital, and he then passed away on the 4th day, shortly after he went to the hospital. Okay? There was a bit of a rumor going around, and I read this in the comment section of her Facebook group, where someone had said, oh, that grandpa had a crush on Echo. Okay, I don't feel that at all in her energy. I don't feel that at all. I don't feel like he had a crush. I feel like he liked her. I feel like he was told things about her that weren't necessarily true by Josh. At some point, he was told how wonderful she was, and he liked her. At some point he was told, this is my new girlfriend, and so he was judging her as a potential family member coming into a family, and I feel like he liked her. He really did enjoy her company, and he liked her, and he was accepting of her as a girlfriend to his grandson, although that's not what she ever was. I think that there were some maybe intoxicated moments where some boundaries were crossed, but I think Echo always made it very clear that she was not interested in like a full-on relationship with Josh. I'm telling you, that's the case. There was not a desire. She wasn't attracted to him in that way at all. Okay, there was some indiscretions, I believe, but at which Echo was very regretful for, because she felt like it sent mixed messages and it made everything worse. So right about that time is when she went to her daughter, and when she realized, oh, I made a big whoopsie. This guy now thinks this, and he is hanging on to it like a dog with a bone. I got to get help. And that's when she reached out to her daughter to come and help her. That all kind of plays out time-wise that way in my intuitively in my mind. Okay, so Kelsey went to Josh's house on the day that Kelsey, being so aware of the issues between Josh and her mother, when she went on the 10th and knocked on her mother's door, and her mother wasn't home, she left her gift for Mother's Day there, and she left. And she kept calling her to tell her, hey, Mom, I stopped by, I missed you, went to leave, drop off your gift, blah, blah, blah. And she couldn't get a hold of her for 5 days. She returned. When she returned, and that stuff she left was still sitting there, that's when she really freaked out and started to freak out. At that point, I feel like she went to Josh's house. She went there to speak to him to find out if he knew where her mother was. She pounded on his door. He didn't answer right away. But at some point he did answer. I feel like she called the police, and she said something like, you better answer your door. I called the police, blah, blah, blah. They're on their way. I feel like that's what it took to get him to answer the door. And this is after she pounded and pounded. I see her just pounding, hollering, calling her mom's name, calling Josh's name. And I feel like Josh finally did answer the door. And I see him being very nonchalant, acting like he has no idea what she's talking about. I haven't been back over there since you were here and you told me, you ran me off. Leave me alone, blah, blah, blah. She's probably off with some guy. And I heard that very clearly. Oh, she's probably off with some guy. Okay, that was the first thing out of his mouth was, I don't know where she's at. I haven't been around because you told me to stay away. She's probably off with some guy. I also feel like he told her that he saw someone coming to visit her mother, and he saw her mother leave with somebody. But I don't feel like that actually happened. I feel like that was him playing a narrative, okay? Or trying to plant a narrative. I see Josh coming out of the woods, out of a wooded area. I don't know where that plays into this, but I see him coming out of a wooded area. That just popped in. First time I saw that one. Okay, I see him walking out of a wooded area. Okay. So, I'm kind of mixed up as far as how exactly all these things played out, because I got flashes and bits and pieces. What I saw was a confrontation take place between Kelsey and Josh. What I saw was, of course, complete denial on his part, and I see hers, like, what do you do to her? Where is she at? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I see that take place. I see her leaving to go. She's leaving. I see her go back to her mother's place, what I believe was her mother's place. And he followed her. She picks something up off the ground in her mother's driveway, or in her mother's yard. And he comes running up and he yanks it out of her hand. Okay, I see that happening. And saying, that's mine. Okay, so what I think that was, okay, I feel like that was that cell phone, that second cell phone, not the main cell phone. The second cell phone, the extra cell phone, the cell phone that that Echo had been allowing Josh to use. I feel like it was that cell phone. And he yanked it out of her hand and he said something like, that's mine, or, your mom gave this to me, I get to keep this. This is mine. I dropped it. It's mine. And she tried to get it back from him, but she never got it back from him. I don't feel that phone even exists anymore. I do feel like there was some kind of evidence on that phone that he was trying to keep her from getting. Okay. Okay. Kelsey describes the interaction with him on the day that she went to his house. This is Kelsey's description. So I just gave you my psychic, what I've viewed. Kelsey reports that it was very strange interaction. Kelsey called the police. I see the police coming to Josh's grandfather's house and knocking on the door and him not answering. Okay. It was reported that at some point when the police did finally contact him, his excuse for not answering was that he was taking a nap. Okay, so there is that. But he did end up speaking with the police, and I believe that he's absolutely their main suspect. Okay, I feel like I've seen the police. I've seen Josh being followed by the police. I've seen him being surveillanced by the police. I feel like they are watching him. They're very suspect of him. Okay, Kelsey is trying to raise funds for a private investigator. I will put a link to that in my description box so that if you want to donate to this fund, you can. I will also put the information on how you can get a hold of the law enforcement in this area that are residing over this case, in case you have any information. Okay, so in Echo's energy, when I channel Echo's energy, I channel a very, very loving, charismatic, fun, beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful, physically beautiful. Her body or her physical appearance was gorgeous, but her aura, her energy was also beautiful. Now, I'm not trying to paint this woman's picture out to be like this most beautiful femme, she's just amazing. She's missing, so that's all we'll focus on is the amazing. Okay, in Echo's energy, I also pick up that she had some issues with about her too, that she needed to work on. She did have some issues. She had some commitment issues. She had some issues with trust. She didn't trust men a whole lot. I feel like she had been in abusive relationships, and she may have even had some indiscretions in a previous relationship, but I feel like it was due to the fact that she was trying to find a way out. But I think that it was turned around on her like, oh, you're a cheater. Well, really, I don't think she cheated, but I think that she was trying, she had made connections with some maybe other men, trying to find a way out, trying to elicit help to get out of what I really can see as being a abusive relationship. Now, I'm not going to say that this man punched her, ex-husband punched her or hit her physically, because I don't really feel that. But what I do feel is a very controlling, a very domineering type marriage, where she was timed when she went to the store. Like, you have 15 minutes. If she was 5 minutes late, it was like, what were you doing for that 5 minutes? And she was constantly accused of cheating. And she lived her life on eggshells with that man. And it took her some time to get out of that relationship. And it was one of the things that held her in that relationship for as long as it did was that there was children involved. And I think she waited miserably in that marriage for a long time to leave it, because she was waiting for the children to get older, or she was waiting for an opportunity to get out of it and to where she could take her children with her, or that, she could be a stable and single parent. But I think that something just kind of came to a head. She ended up leaving, or an opportunity presented itself. It may be a job, and she ended up leaving, and she had to leave her children, but she had every intention of setting up a life for them and having them come be with her. I do sense a bit of animosity within her children for her having left. But they were being worked on by the dad, if that makes sense. They were being, in her absence, they were being, oh, look, your mom left you. She doesn't love us. She's selfish. All she cares about is herself. Like, I'm hearing these things being said to these girls, these teenage girls. And he worked them against their mother, and which created some animosity between them. And the only person out of the three of her daughters, Kelsey, who I believe was the oldest, she was already out on her own. I feel like she's a parent herself. She has children of her own at this point. Yes, this was 2.5 years ago, but at that point I felt like she had young children, if one at least, if not two. One. I think she has two now. But anyways, she was not in the home with the stepdad. And you know what? I'm saying stepdad because I don't feel like Kelsey is the daughter of her ex-husband. Only the two other younger daughters. I feel like Kelsey has a different father. So he wasn't working on her in the same way that he was working on the other two, trying to turn them against their mother. So there's that. Okay. And I didn't get any of that information off of any group or anything. I'm pulling that out of my own intuition during multiple channeling sessions and meditations. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you about a few visions that I saw. These happened at different times. Okay. I keep getting the number 8. Sometimes it turns into AD. But I keep getting the number 8. And I'm thinking either that means she really came up missing on the 8th instead of the 10th. Or what happened to her happened, maybe her physical body is 8 miles away from where she lived. It could be 80 miles from where she lived, because at one point the 8 turned into an 80. But I kept seeing the 8. Okay, so that's one. And that might be the real date of her coming up missing, and I'm leaning towards that. I don't feel like what happened to her on Mother's Day. I feel like it happened to her a few days ahead, or before. So 8 could be the day that she actually came up missing. I'm going to say right now, Echo Michelle Lloyd is absolutely in spirit. I always hate to have to put that out there, but she is in spirit. And I spoke with her, and I'm going to share with you some of the words that I got from her when I spoke with her. Okay, so I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so this is one of the visions I saw in meditation. Okay, I see her in her bed sleeping. I see her nightstand, and I see a bottle of medication sitting on the nightstand. Okay, there's a glass sitting next to it, so I feel like maybe the medication that she was on was like a sleeping medication, maybe, or something she took at night. It's sitting on her nightstand. Okay, it's dark in her room. I see her stir in bed and pick her head up, and she notices that there's somebody standing in her room in the dark. This is a tall, thin individual with scraggly, wavy hair, maybe about to here, dressed in all dark, because it's very dark. There's no detail in his clothing, in his face, there's not even colors. So what I'm seeing is all dark. It doesn't mean black, just dark, okay? She wakes up to notice this person standing above her in her room in the dark. I see. So it went further. I see her feeling very startled, but trying to control that, not show fear. I see her get up, pull her legs out. So now she's sitting on the edge of her bed, and she's like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm sleeping. You know, this is not a good time. Like, what are you doing here? How'd you get in my house? Like this kind of a dialogue going on. And then I feel like an icy cold fear fall over her when this person starts talking. Like the fear is real, guys. Okay. But I also feel like in her head she's saying, I can't show this fear. Like I can't show it. Her main goal was to get this person out of her bedroom. She felt real vulnerable with this interaction happening in her bedroom. She felt like she had to get him out of her bedroom. So it's almost like she started like being friendly to this person. She started being like, well, hey, you know, since you're here, let's go have a cup of tea. Let's go. And she gets up and puts on a robe thing, and all the while this person has not even moved. They're in the same spot, but they're speaking and not making much sense. Like the things they're saying are scaring her, but it's not like they're going oh, whoa, 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 yelling at her or I'm gonna kill you or anything like that. It's she doesn't know how to take it, so it's scaring her. So she's trying to get this person out of her bedroom and away from her bedroom. Okay. That it ended there. That's what I saw there. Okay. Then at another channeling session, I asked my spirit guides, my soul team, to take me further on that vision. Okay. Which I didn't get. They didn't take me further, but I got a new vision. And in the new vision, I see her in the robe still, in a more lighted area, so I believe it was outside of her bedroom. I see her being punched hard in the face. Punched. It's very similar to how I saw the grandfather being punched. But when she was hit, it knocked her cold. She literally went to the ground. Okay. See her being picked up. See her being thrown over the shoulders like a bag of potatoes and taken out of the house. Okay. Okay, so that was kind of and I see someone walking away with her. Okay, this person remains dark clothing, indescribable as far as facial features, because they're not showing me that. They're just showing me like this, and it was real quick. Bam, he hits her, plop to the floor, pick her up, throw her over the shoulders, out the door he goes. Shut the door behind him, but out the door he goes. Turn around, shut the door. Okay, so he walks off with her. And in the distance, what I see is woods. And he's walking in that direction, towards the woods, okay? I see in another vision, at a different time, I caught a glimpse of a gun, okay? Of a gun laying in grass. So I caught a glimpse of a gun laying in grass. I know that's not incredibly helpful, but I did get a glimpse of a gun laying in a grassy area. At one point, I did see what looked like, okay, it was a truck, and I feel like it was in her driveway. I want to say it was red or maroon. I saw that. I don't know what the significance of that is, but I did see a maroonish red truck, big truck, in her driveway. And I have to say that when I go into Echo's energy during channeling sessions, I get the feeling of being very like high, like drugged up, like out of it, like really out of it. So I don't know if she was drugged or if this is a result of the medication that I saw sitting on the table. Okay, So there you go. That is, I'm sure there's a ton more information out there. That's the information I have gathered over a period of, a couple weeks, but really the last week or so I've really been concentrating on it. So I am going, I want to pull some cards. Let's pull some cards and let's ask the pendulum a few questions. Let's see what we can pull out of this. Let's see what we can pull out of this. So, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is cleanse the energy here. After having said all of that, let's cleanse the energy up a bit. I was so lost without my torch lighter for the longest time. Okay. And I am going to say, I need to pull my table up here closer to me, guys, but in the meantime, all right, so in this here and now moment, as I am about to tap into source consciousness, into the highest good for Echo Michelle Lloyd, I ask that only beings of love and light, high vibrational beings of the light, are welcome to participate only. I ask to speak with Echo Michelle Lloyd's spirit guides, her soul family, my own spirit guides, my own soul family. I ask to speak with the angels, the archangels, my spirit guides, the ascended masters of the light who have walked before us. I ask to speak with Echo's spirit guides and Echo's spirit herself. And I ask that only beings of high vibrational beings of love and light are to participate in this reading. Nothing negative, no low vibrational vibes are welcome here. I'm asking for that to be pulled away, and I'm asking for my soul family, my spirit guides, my whole beautiful, unconditionally loving team of guides to make sure that those negative energies do not penetrate or muddy up this reading or bring in false interpretations. And like I said, only beings, high vibrational beings of love and light, are allowed to participate or allowed to even enter this space. And I ask all of my soul family, my protectors, to place a bubble of protection around myself, around my family, and around those who are watching, that we are protected and that no weapon shall prosper against us in any way, shape, or form, and any low vibrational negative energies be returned to their origin immediately and dealt with accordingly. Okay. So we got that, and I will just leave that guy burning there. You guys like my new prop? I got a crystal ball, but it's got a light inside of it. Is that not the cutest little crystal ball? I think it's adorable. Okay. Now I'm going to clear out any... I'm going to level out the energies and pull in the higher vibrational energies through frequency, through frequency. So I'm going to pull out or pull the higher vibrational entities, higher vibrational energies down using frequency with my singing bowl. So you may want to turn your volume down for this. It's kind of loud. I'm going to ding it and then I'm going to sing it. So this is bringing in the higher vibrational frequencies or energies using a frequency. Ready? Okay, all right. I'm going to set that guy back. I can feel the vibrations I can feel the energies have come, like kind of, the frequencies have come. It's very hard to explain, but I can feel the higher vibrations, the higher frequencies have actually come down to me, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't, and I'm sorry. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay. So I have a brain that is affected by a disease called MS. And because of that, I do have an issue with my memory at times. And so, yes, it's give and take. Right now I'm going through, okay, so my MS is called relapsing and remitting, which means that I have episodes of relapse and I have episodes of remission. Right now, I happen to be in remission, which means I have no active lesions on my brain right now. So I'm feeling really confident about this reading right now, that it's going to be pretty clear. Okay, so I'm going to say a little bit of a prayer before I go in and start pulling cards. Okay. Dear Source, Source of all, I come to you with love in my heart. I thank you for always being here for me, for us. As we seek your light and we seek the peace and ask for it to overcome us and wait for your voice to show us the way. May your guidance be present always, and may the answers that we seek here in this reading come when you're ready for me to receive them. Please make these answers help me to grow in discernment, to understand the messages that are being sent to me and interpret them correctly for the highest good of Echo Lloyd. And please help me to reject the lies of the enemy or any kind of weapons that are trying to prosper against me or anyone watching this video. Please protect us from those things. Block and return those energies to their source. I'm asking for you to lift me up close to you, Lord. Bring me close to you so that I can be open and receptive to all of the spirit communication and all of the spirit signs and any messages that are for my highest good, for the highest good of the people watching, and especially in this moment for the highest good of Echo Michelle Lloyd and her family. Please give me the patience that it requires to get these answers, and in getting these answers, please make these answers bring about help, actual help for the people who are involved to move forward in their own human and spiritual journey. I ask all of this through your loving Holy Spirit, with gratitude and love in my heart. I come from a place of pure desire to help, asking for nothing in return but the discernment that it takes to provide this help. I'm asking for you to place protection around this family that is missing their mother, and bring them peace into their heart to get them by until they get the answers they need. And in all my relations, so be it. Okay, so I kind of stole that last part where I said in all my relations. Kind of stole that away from my little sister Natalie. She says that in her prayers, and I freaking love it. I love it. Instead of just paying homage to one person, which I always bring my prayers through Jesus Christ's name, and which I firmly believe in that. But I also really love the fact that, um, you know, I'm not just giving my prayers through Jesus Christ's name, because there's a lot more to this existence than just one man who sacrificed himself for our sins. I want my prayer to go through all my relations, all of them. So when I saw Natalie do that, it was like, what? Yeah, yeah. Natalie has a channel called Awakened Intuitive Tarot, where she does a lot of really awesome stuff. So go there and visit her channel. Okay. All right. So I need to pull my little side table here. I got the coolest little side table here, where I can lay out all of my decks and where I can just reach and grab for them. And I have space on my table, and I don't have my table covered in decks. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pull a blessing card, okay, from the Archangel Michael. Blessing card, please, from the Archangel Michael deck. Can I get a blessing card, please? I'm asking Archangel Michael for a special prayer to lead us into this read. There it is. Okay. And we got, wow, it's pretty cool. Okay, so from Archangel Michael, we got a prayer that will help this situation. Okay, let me get my little light here and see if that helps to see it. There we go. Okay, here's the prayer. Dear Source and Archangel Michael, and anyone close to whom you, oh, and then in parentheses it says anyone close to whom you pray. So that's good enough. Dear Source and Archangel Michael, I ask for your divine intervention in this reading for Echo Michelle Lloyd. I welcome your help, and I trust and follow your guidance with gratitude and grace. I need a miracle that brings about answers for Echo, and I ask that you send one to me and this situation here and now and quickly. I thank you. Amen. Okay, that's a good one, you guys. That's a really good one. Here is the prayer, Archangel Michael, and we will leave that guy sitting right there. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, also a blessing card. I'm going to ask for a specific archangel to come in and lead this read, okay? And I do this in all of my card readings. I feel like pulling in the archangel that is the most equipped to help us through navigating this, getting this information. I feel like it's super important to have that archangel specifically called in and here with us in the here and now as we investigate this situation and try to glean the information out. Okay, so I'm asking for an archangel, the appropriate archangel. Only you know, Source, who that is. The appropriate archangel for this current situation. The appropriate archangel for this. Okay. Oh, this is one that is very known to everybody. This is Archangel Gabrielle. So we've got Archangel Gabrielle here for us today. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to read on, and this is card number 28. Now there's that 8. I'm telling you, 8 is very significant to this case in some way. 8. It just popped out at me again. So let's read on Archangel Gabrielle real quickly. And then we will go in and start. We'll see what deck we need to start with. Okay. Archangel Gabrielle. I'm sorry that I'm so far from the camera. You can't see him very well. That's the beautiful Archangel Gabrielle. I don't know whether to say Gabriel or Gabrielle. I think Gabriel. Okay, beautiful Gabriel is one of the most famous archangels along with Michael. Gabriel can be perceived as either male or female. Okay, there you go. There's the answer to that question. And is shown in the card as an androgynous figure. Okay, so in this card, he's shown, the Archangel Gabriel is shown to be either or. And I was looking at that thinking, I don't know if it's Gabriel or Gabriel, so it could be either. Okay. an androgynous figure to honor the balance of the angel's masculine and feminine qualities, known as God's messenger. Love that. Gabriel's name means God has shown himself. He helps us discover our truth and the true life path, and is particularly helpful to writers and those in the communication industries. So he is here to help me communicate these spirit messages correctly. I honestly feel that way. Gabriel brings hope in times of hardship, accompanies new beginnings, and guides us through the veils of illusion. Yes, Archangel Gabriel, you are so welcome here in this moment. Thank you so much for being here and helping us to find Echo Lloyd, to tell her story and find Echo Lloyd. And you are so welcome, and I'm so grateful for your presence. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. And thank you, Source, for allowing Archangel Gabriel to come into this read and help me through it. Okay. I do that a million times a day, you guys. I say little prayers like that. I don't even, half of the time I don't even realize I'm doing it until I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm going to pull an overall energy oracle card to start with. An overall energy. So I'm going to pull, of course, out of all the decks I have sitting here, I don't have my energy oracle. Okay. I'm going to pull out of the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. I just want an overall energy to start off with. So let's just see. I'm asking my spirit guides to bring forth, just give me a glimpse at what the overall energy is regarding Echo Lloyd's missing. Echo Lloyd being missing. What is the overall, I mean, if she just walked away, if she left to start a new life, even though she took nothing with her to do it, if she was taken away, if she was, give me an overall energy of what happened to Echo Michelle Lloyd, please. Echo Michelle Lloyd. Energy of Echo Michelle Lloyd. Echo Michelle Lloyd. Please give me an overall energy for Echo Michelle Lloyd. There it is. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to set that there. We got patience. We got patience. So let's read. This is card number 16. I don't know why, but in my mind, I just heard 8 plus 8 equals 16. 8 is significant, okay? 8 is very significant for some reason. Okay, so for card number 16, overall energy, we got patience. Peaceful presence, letting go of desperation. This card shows a beautiful angel holding a clock in the stillness of winter. Her quiet, peaceful energy is telling you that it's time to release the old urgency and to look at things with a much clearer perspective. When this card is upright, which it was, it's telling you to relax and let go of the single-minded desperation that's been driving you. Don't try to force your will on only one option. When you think that there's only one solution to satisfy your need or to make you happy, you are blocking many other potential solutions from coming your way. So let go of the anxiety and be flexible. Be patient, open, and creative. Choose to be peaceful in the present. The universe has more options than you may be aware of. Quiet your mind, broaden your perspective, and let them come through. Okay, so what this is telling me is for the overall energy of her coming up missing is that there was when she first came up missing, there was such an urgency with the family. There was such a desperacy to find her now, which that's still there, but 2.5 years has gone by. So that urgency has died down now to more of it's not a necessity. It is a necessity at this point. Rather than being so much an urgency, it is a necessity. And I'm being told patience as an overall energy. So she's saying that people need to be patient rather than acting on through urgent, acting through desperation, acting through fear, stress, worry. People need to slow down, be patient, look at things from a different perspective. That is what this card is telling me. Okay, so that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to light a sage incense stick since my sage stick won't stay lit for long, I'm sure. There we go. I just feel that it is important. I just feel that it's important. All right, I'm going to put some oil. This is just a lotus oil. I feel like it facilitates a better connection when I'm pulling cards. Should have done that before I pulled the oracle, but oh well. I still feel like that oracle card is makes so much sense. I forgot to mention in the background, I do have a some meditation music that is meant to open your third eye and bring in information. It's by Jason Stevenson, so it is no copyright. Okay. All right, Echo. You need to tell me which deck to go to first. Tell me which deck to go to first. Okay. So I am hearing, which this is kind of surprising to me because I really thought that she would go for a different one. I'm hearing the Urban Tarot. I'm hearing Urban Tarot. Now this is a very modern day tarot deck. It depicts things that are more in the here and now. The traditional tarot has, you know, a lot of kings and queens and that kind of stuff, princesses and knights and like royals and stuff like that. This one is much more modern day, and it's called the Urban Tarot. And this is the one I'm being told to start with. So, we will. I think what I'm going to do is put both of my prayer blessing cards in one spot here so I can put the energy card there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of shuffling real quickly. I'm building up the energy. I've got cards wanting to fly out. I'm going to leave that there. But at this point, I'm just shuffling, bringing up the energy. Okay. Set those there. Echo Michelle Lloyd. Okay. Oh. I'm hearing shuffling. Okay, so I have a few questions I'm going to ask. And I'm sure those questions will lead to other questions. Okay, so opening message from Echo. We got the High Priestess. The High Priestess is secrets, mystery, intuition. Okay, so we've got the High Priestess. This is an opening message. Then we've got the Costume Designer. In this tarot deck, the costume... Okay, so the Princess of Cups. I'm sorry. The Princess of Cups, which would be the Page of Cups. And here, on this card, they call it the Costume Designer. Normally, Page of Cups is like a studious kid, or it could be a new love. It could be volunteer work. But somebody who is giving and gracious and helpful. Someone who is smart, hardworking. Yeah, or it could stand for a new love, but I don't feel it off this one. I feel it's more like a new friend. It feels like this was her being gracious towards somebody that had no friends. Like this is like her befriending someone that, you know, befriending the ostracized person. She rooted for the underdog. So I feel like, to me, this feels like taking on a friendship of somebody that normally wouldn't. Normally some people wouldn't. Then I pulled the Lovers because I feel like this person here actually wanted a love relationship with her, but that's not what she wanted. Then I pulled, okay, so the Aeon 22, the Aeon. This is an extra card in this deck, so I'm gonna have to read on that. The Aeon. This is an extra card. So the Major Arcana has 21 cards in it. This is card 22. So we're going to have to read on that because the Aeon. Okay. The Aeon is about seeing yourself and your life as part of a greater cycle of time. Okay. So the Aeon card, I feel like, is because she's trying to give, she's saying this is the big picture. This is the big picture. So this was somebody she befriended. He wanted more out of the friendship. Then we've got the Prince of Cups. On this card it says the filmmaker, but this would be the Knight of Cups, basically, who is a Prince Charming. He's a romantic. He's the one who is all about making proposals and saying, let's get married. I do feel like this was the energy. The overall energy is that this man, you know, the introductory energy is that she just befriended this man, and this man wanted way more than just to be friends. She knew it. Then we get the Strength card. What am I pulling off of the Strength card? The Strength card is about self-love, unconditional love, self-respect, courage, truth, of obviously strength of heart, mind, soul. So I feel like, okay, so what I'm feeling off this is her overall energy is she wasn't quite strong enough to fight off this man's. She was trying to remain strong. She was trying to stick up for herself. She was trying, and that is the beginning energy. Her trying to assert that strength, that mind frame of strength, holding to my own boundaries, my own self-respect, courage. I think that was the catalyst of what happened to her. And that's the introductory energy that we're getting from for now. Okay, so I'm going to ask my first question. Okay, I put it on space here and it's dark right here. Okay, so my first question, and I have to say, I do think strongly that there was some indiscretions that took place. I feel like there was maybe some interludes that happened during an intoxicated state that were very much regretted afterwards. And I think it probably happened a few times. And it gave it encouraged this man into thinking that there was so much hope in making it more than a friendship. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to start off by asking that. Did Joshua want more than a friendship? Did he feel like their relationship was more than a friendship? Okay, that's what I'm going to ask. Did Josh feel like Echo was his girlfriend? Did Josh feel like Echo was his girlfriend? Oh, okay. I just dropped a whole bunch of cards and I can't take all of those. Literally. Just one, please. I'm actually being told to go to a different deck. Okay. 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 I've got them smushed onto this table. I've got so many decks sitting here that they're too tightly together and I can't get it. Ah! Ah! Okay. Sorry, guys. I actually dropped a card too. It's not from this deck, but still. Let's look at it. Just, there's no such thing as coincidences. Oh boy. Okay, so the card that fell on the floor at my feet is the Six of Swords, which is the movement card. It means moving to calmer waters, necessary transition. So I'm not sure what exactly that means. Okay. Yep, this feels much better. Okay. Did Josh feel like there was something more to the relationship than friends? Did Josh feel like there was something more to this relationship than just friends? And we got Judgment. So the Judgment card is about clarity, final decisions, wake-up calls. The Judgment card could be about cause and effect. I'm feeling like a yes on this one because I'm feeling like the indiscretions are what caused him to actually feel like there was way more to this relationship than what there actually was. Yeah, I definitely feel like he thought there was more to it than what there actually was. I do. Okay. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Is Josh the reason Echo is missing? Is Josh the reason Echo is missing? Okay, I got the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is a gossipy, spying, prying eyes. It can be the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. The Page of Swords brings truth, even if it's gossip, even if it's someone's business. The Page of Swords brings truth. Yeah. They can be someone who spies on others. They can be someone who, that person that's peeping Tom. But definitely the truth card. So yes, absolutely yes. For me, that's a yes. I'm going to do a clarifier on that. I'm actually going to ask from another tarot deck. This is the Tarot of Oppositions. This is an important question, so it needs to be asked several times. Is Josh responsible for Echo being missing? 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 I pulled the Ace of Wands. That's a yes. Ace of Wands is a yes. It is a big, fat yes. There was a struggle taking place. Kind of like a tug of war type. That's what I get off this. Now, Ace of Wands is about a new project. It is about like inspiration and urge to create something. New beginning, starting of something new or starting over fresh. Ace of Wands, something that someone's working on, something that someone's taking as one thing and trying to make it into another. So, and Ace of Wands is a yes card. Okay, so the answer is yes. We got 2 yeses on is Josh responsible for Echo missing. Now I'm going to ask, is there anyone else responsible? Because I do feel like there's another energy that is aware. Now here's where I have a hard time, because I feel like his grandfather knew that something had happened. knew that he was guilty of something, and that is the reason that he is no longer with us. I'm not sure if that's the other energy I'm picking up on, or if there is somebody else that has knowledge of this. So what I'm going to ask is, other than Josh's grandfather, does anyone else know? Wow, that flipped fast. Okay, we got two. The first one is the Page of Wands. Now, Page of Wands is also, Page of Wands can be like a very active person, but it's also a new project, a new creative idea. So I think maybe he may have told someone, you know, I'm dating this girl. But there's somebody else who is aware. I feel like there's somebody else who is aware. Somebody who knows Josh, who's active in his life in some way, shape, or form, is aware. I feel like there's another energy that's aware. It could be someone who, it could be a younger, okay, so the Page is a younger energy. So it could be a younger relative, a younger neighborhood kid, somebody who is actively in Josh's life in some way, shape, or form. I feel this energy. Either knows what happens, or knows what happened to Echo, or... but I don't feel like they were there when it happened. I just feel like they're aware of what happened, or at least a rendition of it. I don't know if they know the whole true story, but at least what was told to them. Okay, then I pulled the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is a nurturing person, a healing person, a person of support. And I feel like this is actually Kelsey's energy. I asked if there was anyone else who knows that Josh did something. I think Kelsey firmly believes that Josh did something, and I feel like this is her energy. So Kelsey, if you ever see this video, here you are. You just entered the reading. Your nurturing energy, your loving, supportive energy, healing type supportive energy. You're the one that she reached out to and she needed some help. That energy just popped through when I asked if there was anybody else who knows what Josh did. So what that tells you is you know what Josh did. The universe just told me you do. So whatever it is you're thinking, you're right. Okay? All right, so I'm going to get a clarifier. I'm being told I need to get a clarifier on that. Okay, so I'm going to go with the crystal archetype. Can I get a clarifier on this second energy I just pulled, the Queen of Cups? Is the Queen of Cups representative of Kelsey's energy? Is the Queen of Cups representative of Kelsey's energy, knowing what Josh did? Boy, I tell you what, I keep getting, and this happens to me often when I'm reading for Echo, I keep getting like a antacid, a feeling of, like a burpy feeling, like a heartburn feeling, like an irpy feeling, like nausea, kind of. Not quite nausea, but almost nausea. But it's almost like a hiccupy, burpy, like kind of how you feel when you're drunk, but it's not drunk. It's something else. I feel medicated in a way, in some kind of a way. Okay, so if you see me doing this weird thing, that's why, because that happens to me every time I read on Echo. I don't get it. I was doing a reading yesterday with my friend and soul sister, who was actually on the phone while I was doing the reading. I was having her energy help me out, and the same thing happened. So, all right, so I'm going to ask again. Can I get a clarifier, please? Is the Queen of Cups representative of Kelsey's energy? Is the Queen of Cups representative of Kelsey's energy? Okay. I pulled 3, but I flipped 3, but I only took the top one. For time purposes. Okay, so what we got is garden quartz. There are worlds within you is the card we got. So let's set that here, and I'm going to read on that because there is a message in that for us. Garden quartz. Come in. Garden quartz whispers, you are welcome here. So often we turn outward, seeking to understand the world around us, while neglecting the worlds that thrive within. Okay. The worlds that thrive within. The thought processes that are inside of her head. The belief that she holds about what happened to her mother within. Okay? That's what this is referencing. That's been neglected because people aren't taking her serious. Okay. So, while neglecting the worlds that thrive within, Garden Quartz invites you to remember that each organ in your body is a constellation, each cell a star. Every emotion is a trailing vine ripe with flowers, and your movement. Every action is the fruit of so many minuscule muscles furrowing in concert with your will. Turning your consciousness within reveals the wonders of the universe to you. So, for me, that's a yes. That's a confirmation. They're bringing into focus, into attention, the world within, as in what she believes on the inside of herself, in her heart of hearts, what she believes happened to her mother. They're saying turn your attention within. So that's a confirmation for me, very much a confirmation, validation that the energy that is Kelsey, that knows what happened to her mother or suspects that Josh is the reason her mother is not here. The universe is acknowledging, pay attention to that. Pay attention. Turn within. Pay attention to what you know in your heart of hearts. That's a validation for me that yes. The answer is yes. Okay, this video has already gone to 1 hour and 37 minutes. So I think I'm going to go with that for now. Kelsey, you are absolutely correct about whatever it is you're thinking inside. I'm going to come back for a part 2 so that this video doesn't go too much more longer. I'm just going to stop this one, upload, and I will be coming back for part 2 to finish the reading. I have questions. I'm only like 2 questions in, and yeah, so I will be back soon. When I do come back, I'm not going to start I'm really going to stay in the same energy so I don't have to start all over with the singing bowl and with the prayer and with the sage and all of that. I've got sage burning right in front of me. I'm going to just pick right up where I left off. I will be right back to continue my reading on Echo Michelle Lloyd. Thank you for joining me for part 1. Please come back and watch part 2 because I have just getting started. All right, guys. I love you. Namaste. Come back for part 2.